A heavy silence hung over Thornwick Hollow, a remote Yorkshire hamlet, its thatched roofs cloaked in mist under the pall of 2024. The village pulsed with an unspoken dread, rooted in a chilling warning passed down for generations. Don't look. Out the window at 3 a.m., at the heart of this terror stood an unseen force, Clara Ashwood, a 19th century widow whose story birthed the curse. The tale unfolds with Robert Hill, a 39-year-old farmer who vanished after peering outside at that fateful hour last month. 3 days later, he returned home, eyes vacant, and bludgeoned his wife and daughter with a pitchfork before disappearing. Into the night, she called me, he'd muttered to a neighbor. The village shuddered, for this was the third such horror in weeks. Marcus Wells, a 32-year-old vlogger with a growing YouTube channel, HS Horror Story, had chased the paranormal since his teens. His gritty investigations had built a loyal following of thrill seekers, and he'd persuaded his friend Jacob Miles, a 30-year-old video editor, to join him. This could be massive for HS Horror Story, Marcus said, setting up his tripod in their rented cottage, its windows boarded as precaution. Jacob adjusted his editing laptop, wary, or another flop like that haunted barn. But the grainy footage of Robert's rampage, blood-streaked and frantic, shifted his view. 3 days then may kill, Marcus noted, sketching the pattern in his notebook. 5 missing, 3 returned as killers, 2 still lost: Robert Hill and Sarah Owen. The curse traced to 1845, when Clara Ashwood, a 33-year-old widow, lost her husband and 3 children to a rival family's arson attack. The Cranes, wealthy landowners, had envied her modest farm, and in a fit of greed set it ablaze. Clara, spared by chance, confronted them, only to be overpowered, murdered, and buried in an unmarked grave near the moors. Her dying curse vowed to return at 3 a.m., the witching hour, dragging others into her vengeance. She appears in the glass, luring you to join her, old Mrs. Edith Crane warned at the pub, her voice trembling. Those who look never come back the same. The Cranes, descendants of the killers, had long avoided the windows, fueling the village's fear. Marcus and Jacob arrived in Thornwick Hollow as night deepened. The hamlet streets deserted, save for the rustle of wind through the heather. Lights off, let's record for HS Horror Story, Marcus whispered, his voice taut with excitement. Jacob set up the camera, his hands unsteady. Feels like we're being watched. They chose a cottage with a view of the moors, its windows dark and ominous. At 2:55 a.m., Marcus positioned himself near the glass, heart pounding. We'll catch her live. Jacob monitored the feed. If this goes wrong, I'm blaming you. At 3 a.m., a shadow flickered beyond the pane. Marcus leaned closer, his breath fogging the glass. A face materialized: Clara Ashwood, her features gaunt, eyes black voids, her hair a wild tangle. Come to me, she rasped, her voice seeping through the cracks. Marcus froze, the camera capturing her image. Jacob yanked him back. Don't look. The window rattled, and Clara's form vanished, leaving a cold draft. Did you get that? Marcus gasped, reviewing the footage. Clara's face was clear, her gaze piercing. Comments on HS Horror Story flooded in. Run. But Marcus felt a pull. We need to check Sarah's family. They're next. Sarah Owen, a 36-year-old nurse, had vanished 2 days ago. Her brother Tom met them at his home, eyes red. She looked out at 3 a.m. and said she heard Mom's voice. Now she's gone. Marcus promised to help. Tom recalled Sarah's last text. A woman's calling me? Marcus's pulse raced. Clara. Thornwick Hollow buzzed with dread. The windows take them 3 days, then they kill, a shopkeeper muttered. Marcus researched the 1845 tragedy, Clara's murder, the Crane's cover-up, and a journal hinting at a binding circle. She wants her family back, Jacob theorized. possessing people to recreate her loss. The stage was set for a nightmarish encounter. The village's recent horrors painted a grim picture. Robert Hill's rampage had left his farm a slaughterhouse, his pitchfork embedded in the wall. Neighbors recounted his return staggering, muttering about a woman in white. Before the screams began, 2 days later, Emily Carter, a 28-year-old teacher, followed the same fate. Her kitchen a scene of carnage with a carving knife. She said Clara promised peace, a friend whispered. The third, David Pratt, a 41-year-old postman, drowned his. Parents in their well, his final words a chilling, "She's waiting." Each had looked out at 3 a.m., their absences lasting 3 days before their deadly returns. Marcus interviewed Tom Owen about Sarah. She'd been restless, talking about Mom since Dad died last year, Tom said. That night, she texted me at 2:58. I hear her. Then nothing. The pattern matched. A lure, a disappearance, a murderous return. Michael Dunn, a 35-year-old fisherman, remained missing, his boat found adrift. He looked out too. His wife sobbed. The village elders spoke of Clara's curse, her spirit tied to the moor's ancient stone circle where she'd been buried. She seeks replacements for her family, Mrs. Crane said, her voice heavy with guilt. Marcus and Jacob scoured archives, finding an 1845 parish record of Clara's death marked unholy. A sketch showed her at the circle, lantern in hand, cursing. The Cranes. She's bound by a ritual, Marcus deduced. That night, they set up cameras at Tom's house, waiting for 3 a.m. At the stroke of the hour, a shadow passed Sarah's window. There, Jacob pointed. Clara's face appeared, her voice a whisper, "Join us." The glass cracked, and Sarah's form flickered outside, eyes black. "She's coming back," Marcus said, heart racing. The feed cut out, leaving them in darkness, determined. To document Clara's power, Marcus and Jacob returned to their cottage, rigging it with motion sensors. "We'll face her at 3 a.m., Marcus declared. Jacob protested. "This is insane." But at 2:55 a.m., the sensors triggered. Marcus approached the window, camera rolling for HS horror story. "Let's see her." At 3 a.m., Clara's face loomed, her eyes boring into his. "You're mine," she hissed. A vision hit Marcus in a burning farmhouse, Clara's children beside him. He staggered, the room spinning. Jacob pulled him away, but the window shattered, glass raining down. Clara's form materialized, her dress tattered, holding a lantern-like glow. "Join my family," she wailed. The cottage shook, furniture levitating. Jacob swung a chair, but it passed through her. "Run!" he yelled. They fled to the moors, Clara's laughter following. At dawn, Marcus's arm bore a green scar, burning. "She's marking me," he groaned. The footage showed Clara's attack, earning thousands of views on HS Horror Story. "Get help." Marcus felt her pull intensify. "We need to find that circle." That night, Sarah returned to Tom's house, eyes vacant, a kitchen knife in hand. "The family!" she shrieked. Marcus and Jacob arrived, tackling her as she lunged at Tom. "It's not her," Marcus cried. Clara's voice echoed through Sarah. "They took mine, now I take theirs." The struggle lasted hours, Sarah collapsing as dawn broke, freed but traumatized. "She's stronger," Jacob said. The village whispered of more vanishings, the curse spreading. Marcus's research led to the stone circle, a mile from the village. Locals avoided it, claiming it pulsed with energy at 3 a.m. Mrs. Crane revealed a family secret. Her ancestor, Thomas Crane, had bound Clara's spirit with a blood ritual after her murder, using the circle to trap her vengeance. He feared her curse would end his line, she confessed. A hidden journal, found in the church attic, detailed the rite, Clara's blood mixed with salt, her spirit tethered to the windows. "We need to break it," Marcus said. "Dot the circle. overgrown with thorns, bore carvings of eyes windows to the soul. At midnight, they explored, finding a buried chest containing Clara's locket, inscribed with her name. "This is the key," Jacob said. A vision struck Marcus, his great-grandfather, a crane, at the ritual, binding Clara. "I'm tied to this," he realized. The ground trembled, Clara's voice rising. "You can't undo me." They fled, the lockets. Weight a burden. Marcus contacted Mr. Leonard Tate, a local sage. "The binding requires her locket returned with salt and a confession," Tate explained. They planned a 3 a.m. ritual at the circle. That night, Michael Dunn returned, eyes black, wielding a harpoon. "The family," he roared. Marcus and Jacob intercepted. Him at his wife's home, subduing him as Tate chanted. The locket glowed, Clara's form appearing. "Confess the crane's sin," Tate demanded. Marcus, shaking, recited the murder. The ground split, salt poured, and Clara's scream pierced the air. Michael collapsed, freed, but her presence lingered. The ritual weakened Clara, her form fading. As the locket sank into the earth, Marcus, scarred but alive, vowed to monitor Thornwick Hollow. "The curse is broken, but she's not gone," Tate warned. The village exhaled, yet windows remained a source of unease. Tune in for more every Sunday and Thursday at 11 p.m. on HS Horror Story. Subscribe and share.